Hello, everybody, and happy Friday. Happy bonus day to the new and improved Perfect 10. All right, guys, if you're just jumping on here, give me a shout out. Let me know that you are out there. And I had a comedy of errors they tried to get in my way from starting on time today, but I'll spare you the details. So without further ado, guys, I want you to take your dominant hand up and raise it up nice and high. Raise it up nice and high. And if you are currently catching the replay or joining me live and you've showed up these last 4 days, I want you to do one of these and pat yourself on the back. My cat, pat yourself on the back. I know you're flexible enough. Stretch that. Now, take your other arm up, wave it around. And actually, I just want you to do one of these. Hey. Hey. Doesn't that feel good to do? All right, so this one was pat yourself on the back because you're showing up to glow up. And the other one is, I call it the Miss America wave. All right, so your little Miss America wave, that one's a little too crazy. But anyway, it's so fun to just kind of play with some power poses too and to change your physiology to signify that like this is meant to be fun, right? And even though this week we got kind of emotional, right? We talked about the 7-year-old version of us. We talked about things that kind of got in our way, handling objections. And a lot of you guys did do your you work. So you should have got a text message from me as a reminder of what that was and just kind of tallying up some of your items that you buy each month that you're like, I could probably live without this. Now, what was really impressive, the things that I did name, like eyelashes, nails, what else did I name there? Starbucks, Dunkin'. A lot of people are like, no, I don't do those things. But there's always something, right? I mean, we have money. We're going to spend it. And it is really hard, I think, to even look on social media without being allured by different clickbaits. Okay. So make sure that you focus on your cost shift if you're kind of on the fence, right? If you're kind of on the fence, if you're like, I know I need more than 10 days, Aubrey. But if the cost is an issue, then take a look at how you can shift that cost and make this an affordable part of your life. And I'll tell you this, some of the best investments that I've ever done was coaching. I've worked with Tony Robbins, his business coaches. I have a new business coach now. I have a pole dancing coach. I have, you might be getting the thing like, God, you have a coach for everything. I have a coach and mentor for my next bodybuilding show. And it's been really, really helpful for me because what happens is something that Patty talked about yesterday. And it started with an A. Do you guys remember what Patty talked about yesterday? Drop in the comments if you remember that A word. And as I'm waiting for Dan to read the comments, if you remember that A word, I want to say hello and welcome. If you are new to the group, my name is Aubrey Warwick. I'm a TV fitness expert, transformation coach, OCB Bikini Pro, own a pole dance studio. And I know that sounds like a lot of stuff to do. It really isn't, because I bet you guys are busier than me. I have a hunch. You might have 3 kids. You might have 10 dogs. You might work 3 jobs. I am used to working with busy people, and I love to help them find their blind spots and bend time. We also talked about stealth mode yesterday and how you made stealth mode self mode. So all these awesome things. And Debbi, yes, Debbi, who she's a brave soul. We are going to be doing a participant spotlight session with her here in about 10 minutes. So Debbi says accountability. That's what it was. My cat says accountability, right? So Patty's biggest thing was accountability. So I want to now just lean in to the point of the bonus coaching today. So we are going to do a couple things. We're going to talk about 3 things that you need to stop doing. That looks like 5, but stop. In the name of Perfect 10. And it's so funny because do you see my ring? I feel like this is like the ring of power for Lord of the Rings. It's an aura ring. If you have an aura ring, drop a little ring in the comments. I used to have a whoop, which I hated wearing anything on my wrist. I hated it. It was just a black band. It looked like I had a house arrest band. It was just awful. But it was very accurate at documenting my sleep, telling me how poorly my sleep was. I was like, oh, whoop, screw you. But my husband got me an Aura ring for Christmas. I really do like it. I've never really been into biofeedback technology, but as a fitness expert, I feel like I need to kind of bend my own rules sometimes and use these devices so that I can help my clients better, because most of my clients have like an Apple Watch, a Whoop, an Aura ring, Fitbit, that sort of thing. Okay. So Becky says accountability. That's why she's here. Yes. And to take advantage of a free program like this, guys, and to show up for P10, to have that accountability is a really, really big deal. When I used to run my Strong Sexy You programs, that was, you know, it wasn't as involved as one-on-one coaching. And a lot of times people hid because it was a group program, because what happens is when it gets uncomfortable or gets tough or the weekend comes, we quit on ourselves. The purpose of having a coach is to have someone who has an unwavering commitment to hold you accountable to what you hired them for. And I tell this to my clients all the time. Whenever they're trying to run and hide, I say, how can I help you this week do that one thing that's going to move the needle for you? And if it's their idea, they're like, okay, I really just need X. All right. And said, okay, I got this. Because sometimes what happens is we can get on a roll, like with Perfect 10, we're like, I am perfect. I'm a perfect 10 and I'm doing all the things, showing up even for bonus day. And then suddenly it's just too much change at once. Man, it's always something, isn't it? Okay. So Melissa says, even on the weekends. Oh, yes, Melissa, I will get you my pretty, and all your goals too. That's what we want to get. All right, so let's talk about these 3 things that you need to stop doing right now. And if you feel like I'm talking directly to you, it is because I am. But this is tough love with a really big hug. And you can even try that. Give me a little tough love with a really big hug. That's how I treat my husband. Boof, boof, boof. And then I'm like, give me a hug. Something like that. He's like, okay. All right. So stop freaking buying shit you don't need. Stop it. And you're going to be like, but I don't. Liar. You know what? Because I do it. I do it too. Because you're in this moment of desperation. You just have to pull yourself out of it and be like, oh my gosh, how is that getting me closer to my goal? Right? Now, guys, there's exceptions. If it falls in the needs category versus wants, what season of your life are you in? Maybe you have this expendable income and you can just do whatever you want and you could buy all this stuff whether you need it or not. That's fabulous. But if you are constantly saying, I'm going to take this step, I'm going to do it. And then you're like, oh, but it costs money. And then you're going out and getting another tattoo instead of investing in your health or wellness. You got to stop. You got to stop, right? All right. We need to play like Ice Ice Baby, stop, collaborate, and listen. All right. So that's number 1. The next thing you got to do is stop for 10 days, cook it in the microwave. Now, you can go online and you can support anything that you want. If you're like, Aubrey, I don't believe you that the microwave turns my food into a radioactive pile of garbage. You don't have to believe me. I've done an experiment, okay? We've gotten an EMF reader also to see how intense those microwaves are. So we got rid of our microwave. I'm not saying you need to like go dump your microwave right now in a landfill. I'm not saying that. However, what I am saying, for 10 days, can you try to cook on the stove? Can you try a crock pot? Can you try something different? Maybe steaming, boiling, baking. Is there a perfect way to do it? I mean, go outside, build a fire. Okay, no, I'm kidding. You don't have to do that extreme. But the microwave, I've done this experiment where I was cooking everything in the microwave. This was probably like 2014. And I took my body composition versus then cooking my food on the stove. Also, my protein shakes. I was making protein shakes like a mug cake. Like those used to be really popular. And I noticed one day, I was like, my muscles look like they're like kind of flat. And I'm working really hard. What's going on? I noticed that my body composition was not where I was intending it. For example, the Isaac Newton, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And I felt like that was not applied to all my strength training. I was like, all the strength training that I'm doing, I'm not seeing or even feeling the benefits. And so I started to do more research on it. And that's when I read the book, The Green Body Cleanse by Dr. Edward Group III. I love that book. It is so good. And he brings up a lot of good points in it. So think about what the microwaves do and how they do denature your food. And if you're spending a lot of money on your organic coffee, you're spending a lot of money on your organic vegetables. And I hate how they advertise this. Organic pre-washed vegetables, triple wash in a plastic bag, microwavable. What? You're microwaving it first in plastic, a huge hormonal disruptor, and then you are zapping out all the precious nutrients. Elaine said, I almost used the microwave to warm my water for lemon water and thought better of it is used on the stove. Yeah, took no more time. Yeah, right. So get a nice teapot, okay? That's what we do. It really doesn't take that much more time. And sometimes that is the other lie that we're sold and told is that, look at the fast food industry. How many times you drive past Chick-fil-A and you see people in their cars waiting in line for a chicken sandwich, whatever they want, that's chicken based, right? And you're like, you could have bought the chicken. You could have actually gone out, killed the chicken, defeathered it, then cooked it at home in the same amount of time that you had it waiting in line at Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A uses MSG in their food, and MSG is labeled as a natural flavoring or for a flavor additive rather. However, it's highly addictive. So if you've ever craved foods like that, I don't go to Chick-fil-A, right? At this stage in my life, I've practiced what I preach so long, I don't even see fast food. I don't see the Starbucks. I don't see the Dunkin', right? What you focus on, you find. But your reticular activating system, if you're like a Chick-fil-A junkie, all that reticular activating system in your brain is going to be like, where's the next Chick-fil-A? Okay. So it takes some time. It takes some time to break those patterns. But you just might be ready to break that pattern and change can happen in an instant. So yes, the teapot is good. Now, let's talk about other ways to cook your food. Yesterday, someone asked a good question, why do I have to steam it? Can I do raw or baked or roasted? Absolutely, you can. What I have gathered, and I want to help you take the fast track. If you're eating a ton of raw vegetables just out of convenience, notice your digestive system. Your body, it takes a while for you to break down that food. I did a talk about from a Chinese and Ayurvedic medicine standpoint of how taxing that is on your spleen chi, on your spleen. And what happens is that your body wastes a lot of energy actually breaking down that food. In the Western world, we're like, oh, you're burning more calories, goody gumdrops, eat a whole pound of celery. And what I've learned, that is not the best way to do it, right? So we need some help through cooking food, and by steaming it is a really nice process. I've just been hooked on this because it softens the food, it makes it very digestible, and your gut will thank you, all right? But don't think that raw is bad either. I want you to just vary it up. And the cool thing about P10 is if you haven't been steaming vegetables in a while, now's your chance to do it. Yeah, if you haven't tried the baked potato naked, eating a naked baked potato, try it, right? You could put a little salt or garlic powder on there or fresh stuff. Okay. The other thing we want to stop doing, believe it or not, and a lot of people have been messaging me because they're so excited. They're like, they're weighing themselves every day. So you need to stop weighing yourself every day. Now I'm going to tell you why in a second. However, think of it like this way. If at the end, think of it like Christmas, right? We don't want Christmas to come too early. Christmas is going to come on Christmas Day. So at the end of P10, how cool is it if you're like, I'm not weighing myself. I'm going to stick with the plan. I have a plan. All right. And I'm going to stick to it to the best of my ability. I'm going to wait till day 10. You step on the scale and it's like Christmas. And how freaking exciting is that? Don't rob yourself of your Christmas Day P10 moment. So let's say we weigh ourselves every day. what happens is we are in a pattern that of a dieter's mentality. How many of you out there have been on a fad diet before, any type of diet, and then because you suddenly feel like in a day you're like, wow, I ate so good today. I'm so much leaner. I'm lighter. And you step on the scale and you're like, oh, I am. That's great. And then you keep doing it until one day you don't like that number. And it usually happens before day 7. You step on the scale and you're like, oh, why am I up a pound or 2 pounds? Because, gang, your weight is going to fluctuate. We don't want to be silly dodo birds here. Pick your date on day 10 in the morning to weigh in and break the habit. The stop sign technique can be applied to more than just the thoughts that are running into your head of doubt.
And why does the weight fluctuate? It's like water retention or what is it?
So yeah, why does our weight fluctuate? Elaine says guilty. You're not the only one, Elaine. Why does our weight fluctuate? Water, dehydration, sodium. Maybe you just worked out. You want to talk about gaining 3 pounds, go work out and then jump on the scale. That'll really tick you off, right? Inflammation, traveling. Maybe you haven't had a sufficient bowel movement. All of those things, right? Also, you can start to rely on how you feel more. Like, oh, you know what? I just start to feel so good. I'm feeling lighter all over. So I don't need a number on the scale right now to prove me right or wrong. Okay, so let's see who's out there. We are going to tune into Miss Debbie. Her and I have never met. Debbi L. I wanted to go on your Facebook page, but you need to accept my friend request first to do that because I was going to do a little research on you. Debbie, hello.
Hello.
Thank you for joining me today in this Spotlight Coaching. You've been playing full out for the last 4 days, and I want to thank you. So everybody watching, you better be giving Debbie some clap emojis right now. I'm clapping for you. Yeah, so where do you live, Debbie?
Bethel Park.
Oh, okay, excellent. And how did you hear about Perfect 10?
PTL originally.
Oh,
Yeah.
on PTL. You mentioned that, and I thought maybe you did like a search on YouTube. Well, awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate your time today. This is super exciting to have you. And people are very intimidated to do a spotlight coaching call. And you messaged me and you're like, I'm brave, but I'm also a tough nut to crack.
I think so.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. So, okay. So, Miss Debbie, let's just take a moment to connect here, just through breath. Take a couple breaths. Being present in this moment and thanking yourself for showing up, thanking yourself for being brave enough to kind of take one for the whole P10 team. And I'd like to ask you my first question.
Okay.
All right, Debbie. Number 1. Why do you feel like you are a tough nut to crack?
Because I have a hard time finding my why.
Ooh, okay.
Oh. Why now? Why am I unhappy with where I am? Why do I want to lose weight, get fit, whatever it is?
Mm-hmm.
It's just more of like, I just know I'm supposed to. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Have you ever considered yourself fit before?
Probably not, no.
Okay. So that would not be an adjective that you would have ever in your whole life described you as?
No.
Interesting. Okay. Fair. And so externally, would you say this is correct that you feel that you know all of the things that like it's good to be active? I want to treat my body this way. But as you're saying, like, yeah, but why? There's like a lack of intrinsic motivation?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can you tell me something about you that makes you light up, or an activity, person, people, place, or thing?
I love to plan travel.
Oh, okay. Okay. You love to plan travel.
Love
Do
to
you have any
plan.
trips coming up?
I do. I
Cool.
have a list.
You have a list.
um, a short little getaway to Gettysburg right before
Mm.
Easter for spring break,
Uh-huh.
and then a little tiny cruise is planned. My daughter's graduating 8th grade, and I let her pick a little vacation, and that's what she chose.
Oh, that is great. That is great. Okay, so you love to plan and travel. Okay. What I typically do with my clients at this point then is say, okay, we find one thing that really fires us up and gets us excited. We're very motivated to do it because not everybody likes to plan travel trips, right?
Yep.
That's a gift of yours, for sure. And that was the first thing that came to your mind right away. You had no wavering doubt. So a couple ways that I would tackle this is, first of all, we would want to attach a habit that maybe we want to create in you right now. Let's say it's that you want to be able to walk a mile every day. Okay, let's just throw that random number in there. Okay. And I would say, all right, well, we're going to walk that mile first every day, but it has to come before you are doing any planning for the Gettysburg trip. So what we would do there is to say, all right, we are going to kind of, depends on how we want to label it. I call these things that I don't really want to do, but know I have to do it. Like maybe things, I'll be honest, like to grow my business, I have to really reach out to so many people. And I like doing stuff like this. I like to talk to people like you, but to like DM on my phone and be always on my phone, I don't really like to do it. So what I call that moment is an eat the frog moment. And so we would say, all right, we're going to eat the frog. You're going to walk that mile because we know that it's good for you. We know that you have a fitness goal. We know that now when you go to Gettysburg, you're not even going to be tired because you're going to be fitter. And then you could get to all the fine details of the trip. So when I do that for myself, I'll tell my husband, I'll say, hey, I'm going to go eat the frog. And then when we come home, I attach some happy thing to it. If it's, we're going to sit down and have a meal together. If it's spending time with my son, if it's me taking a nap before my son comes home, you know, any little thing that I'm like, all right, Aubrey, you're going to do this. And then we're going to have that fun time. Because what happens is, and I don't know, I don't want to project this on you, but tell me what you think. Let's say you go down like the traveling planning rabbit hole and it suddenly consumes your day.
Yep.
And then you're like, I don't have any time to go be
Yep.
fit. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So my first suggestion would be anchoring the habit that you want to instill in yourself to something that you already like. And that would be like a positive. So for, that's how you kind of balance that out. I keep thinking of the Sir Isaac Newton thing today. That was just running through my brain. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So that 1 mile action, even though you didn't want to do it, then it's the reward system and you're going to reap that reward. You're going to have more energy. You're going to have, you're going to feel like you're becoming disciplined if we string that along. So that's the tiny habit that we can anchor. The other thing that I want everyone to notice is, and thank you, Debbie, for saying this, I think the hardest nuts to crack is because, as you said, you're like, Aubrey, I don't know what fit feels like. I've never described myself as a fit person. And that is tough because I've worked with people in the past and this is their stickiest spot where they're like, but my whole life I have been overweight, for example. They said, I've never experienced what it is like to be a thinner person. So because they've never felt that feeling, it's hard to even fathom it. Easy example is, I've never been a millionaire. So I've never, when people are like, oh yeah, Aubrey, my business coaches, they're making 8 figures a year. And I can't even fathom that, right? Because I've never experienced it. But you know what? I thought, well, these people have experienced it. So they must know how to get there. And I'd like to at least try. So that would be kind of where I would take someone in your shoes or yourself in there and say, you've never experienced it, but we're going to start to measure it. So a mile might be a little daunting. I would say, you know what, Debbie, before you plan your trip tomorrow, you're going to just walk 10 minutes. You can't do anything for the Gettysburg trip until you walk 10 minutes. I don't care how far it is. Just walk outside 10 minutes. And we would continue to accumulate this habit so that eventually you actually start to like it and crave it, just like everybody else who's craving Chick-fil-A. Right?
Yep.
So yeah. All right. So Debbie, the last thing that I would like to try with you, and I am so impressed by you already. Before I ask you this last question, I hope you go to bed tonight and you write down in your little P10 journal the best thing that happened to you today was that you realized how brave you are. Really. Because that's pretty awesome, because you're just putting yourself out there, and you're going to help somebody else watching to take action. And the gift that I'd like you to give yourself today is to take action trying what we just talked about.
Yep.
What do you think about that?
I think I can do that.
All right. Okay. All right. Give me some snaps on that, Debbie. Let's do a little snap. Yeah. All right. So, okay. So let's hold Debbie accountable, everybody. Debbie, over this weekend, I would like you to walk 10 minutes before you do any travel planning. Again, just set your timer, 10 minutes. I don't care the duration. So that would, what's that?
You don't care the distance.
Oh, the distance. I'm sorry. Thank you, Dan, for correcting me. I don't want to be confusing. I care about the duration. I don't care about the distance. So we got 10 minutes. We're anchoring it to something that Debbie loves. And if you could get back to us, Debbie, then let's do it. Did you plan anything today for the Gettysburg trip?
No, but
Uh-huh.
my Facebook feed is filled with travel stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of counting scrolling on Facebook, which I need to not do
Yeah.
as much of in
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
So yeah, I've done a little scrolling today.
Okay. Oh, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. Right. You know, when I was saying like the first thing to stop doing, like how we spend stuff on ourselves, we don't want to lie to ourselves. And that's the other thing, guys, that Debbie called herself out on, which is really, really cool, to be like, you know what, though? We have to make sure that we're very clear. You're getting very clear. And then your why will eventually start to reveal itself. I do sometimes talk to people about the 5 whys, but as you were talking, I didn't want to do that technique with you because I think you're in your head a lot. And I want to get you out of your head and in your body. And by getting you in your body by that walk with no phone, just outside or wherever you could walk, I mean, around your house, something like that, get you out of your head. And then, because that's the thing, because sometimes it's like, oh my God, I keep asking why. And then it's like, you don't even get an answer. All right. So let's get you in your body. All right. So Debbie's going to do her 10 minutes. We're going to walk today, which is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. As soon as you're done on Sunday, can you post in this P10 group? Let's see, what do we want to post? I'm a fit girl.
Okay. I'm writing it down.
Okay, let's write it down. So that way, everyone who's watching this right now, when you guys see Debbie and she posts, I'm a fit girl, you know that she just did that walking, that little habit before she scrolled, before she went down the travel rabbit hole. All right. Now
Thank you.
you're accountable. Thank you. All right, Debbie. Well, it is a pleasure to meet you virtually. And this call is going to be recorded. So thank you for letting us spotlight you. And we will look forward to, let's give you a time on Sunday before 5 p.m. on Sunday that we see your post that says, I am a fit girl.
All right.
All right, Debbie.
Thank
I hope
you.
you have the best day. Get after it. And we'll look forward to seeing that post on Sunday.
Thank you.
All right, Debbie. Bye. Oops, hold on one second. There we go. Okay, am I still there? Okay, awesome. All right, guys, can we give Debbie, yes, some hearts? Wow, people are loving this. Becky McNamee, she's given her a heart. Melissa says, thank you, Debbie. Oh my gosh. You know what, Debbie? You're going to make so many people want to do the spotlight call now. I'm so excited for that. All right, gang. So that is just one little example of how I can help you reach your goals. And again, maybe your whole life you didn't identify as the fit girl. Maybe you identified with a different word, right? And you got one life in this earth suit to live. You figure you might as well experience being something that you've never experienced before. I was listening to a podcast, I think, oh gosh, I forget which one it was, but it was an interview with a gentleman who he said, oh, I've already been poor. I've lived under a bridge, and now he's a multimillionaire. He said, I put my time in being poor. I know what it is to experience that, and I don't want to experience it anymore. I think that's powerful. And it's just like, I've put my time in shaming myself. I've put my time in guilting myself. I don't want to experience that anymore. You can parent those voices in your head to say, sit down. You've done enough talking, right? And that's where having a coach is going to get you there. We see people who've gained 100 pounds, lost 100 pounds, gained 100 pounds, lost 100 pounds. I see this in my newsfeed with some people I'm friends with on Facebook. They're lovely people. It is hard work to do both of those things. And to them, I say, all right, you can rest. You don't have to work that hard to let the pendulum swing to that extreme. You put your time in. And if you guys can really sit with this, I do think if you breathe long enough, if you listen to that internal governor of your heart, that you are going to be led to the right person, the right people who are going to bring you to greatness, to experience what you want. I've been there myself. It's kind of like this with kids. You know, I tell my son, I'm like, Roman, you've experienced what it is to lose at your karate tournaments. How many times? Do you want to experience what it feels like to win? That's how it is. All right, guys. So without further ado, I want you to give me a thumbs up emoji if you're going to be stopping the insanity of stop microwaving, stop buying shit you don't need, stop weighing yourself every day. Stop, because you're a perfect 10. All right, gang. I did promise you a little bit of movement, and we are going to go into my living room. So I want you to go grab a beach towel. I'm going to show you some things you could do with a towel that you can make your P10 little mini workouts a little bit harder. Okay. Here we go. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Do, 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 do. My husband's going to follow me. So these are types of workouts that I would build in with some clients who are maybe traveling, who are new to fitness, or even fitness veterans. And you're going to grab your beach towel, and we're going to first apply it to our push-ups. All right. All right. So I have here my handy dandy beach towel. I'm going to fold it lengthwise twice. Okay. And so from here, let's say you are doing kneeling push-ups. All right. So I'm going to do my kneeling push-up, and then I'm going to place my hand on the towel to do a kneeling tricep push-up. One push-up, one tricep push-up. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm working my pecs, the front of my shoulders, the backs of my arms. There was a time in my life I could not do a single push-up. There was a time in my life that all I ever wanted to learn was a tricep push-up from yoga. And if you accumulate 10 total reps of those, you're going to start to feel different muscle fibers starting to pull. And you can also beat the boredom, just being a little bit more playful with your push-up. Okay? You can also challenge yourself more by coming onto your toes. The other thing that you can do with this, and this isn't working your pecs, but it's going to simulate a chest press. Rather, it's going to be working your shoulders. So you're going to take your towel, bring your hands about shoulder distance apart. I'm going to pull the towel so tight, like I'm trying to rip it in half. So I want you to think that you're like punching the sky. So let's say the push-ups for you aren't really working that well in terms of you're very new to exercise. By you doing 10 towel presses, you're going to start to feel tension in your shoulders and your triceps. And I lied, you will feel it in your pecs a little bit. Not as greatly as those kneeling push-ups. Now, I'm going to rock up. You can also, by the way, as I'm just kind of winging this here, you can also do your push-ups from the wall. The further out you walk from the wall, the better. As I want to think like I'm trying to mummify my lower body, like I'm shrink wrapping my lower body, and I can do those 10 push-ups on the wall. But remember, it's 10, and you can kind of jazz those up. Now, the other thing that I like to do with people with a towel is an overhead squat. And what this is doing is forcing you to engage your shoulders and your core maybe a little bit more. So you're going to take that towel over your head. You're going to think about pulling it apart. This is great to improve your postural muscles, great to work on shoulder stability. And it just overall gives you a little bit more caloric expenditure, taking your arms over your head, increasing your heart rate. Okay. Now, I want to preface this by saying we are doing some strength building activities, but this is very metabolic. It's meant to get your metabolism up, your energy up, and guys, to get into your body and out of your freaking head, to get off of your freaking phone after I'm done. Okay. One, if you haven't done this in a while, I always do this one, is a towel cinching crunch. It helps with any type of a big umbilical hernia like I have, or diastasis recti. And I really like this. If you've not done it with me on my follow along videos, now's your chance. You're going to pull that towel really, really tight, and you're going to be crunching up. I'm going to squeeze my butthole, my pelvic floor, and my belly button, crunch up and back down. Pulling that towel across your body is going to help kind of almost teach your abdominals to go in towards the midline of your body more, so that you are understanding how to engage your core. So it's not the rectus abs, it's that pelvic floor, butt, and your transverse abs. Exhale as you're coming up. Now, some other things that I've done on the Pittsburgh Today Live Morning Show with the towel, we've done a lot of towel workouts, and they're a lot of fun. But I can work pretty much every major muscle group with using a towel. You don't even have to buy a resistance band, a tricep kickback, and you can see that my hands are in a tug of war. All right. I can also do a single arm lat pull down with this towel because the hands are in a tug of war. And the cool thing is, resistance equals results. I'll tell you what, if you start to use a towel in all your different exercises, you will get to know your physical body so well, like the back of your hand. You'll start to discover these different muscle fibers and start to feel yourself like, oh my gosh, I can really pay attention now to being present here versus up here. And it is a beautiful thing. This is why people get runner's high, yoga high. This is why I love to dance, because it pulls me so much into the present moment. Give yourself that gift of entertaining some of these ideas as you go through your P10 exercises. Now, in conclusion, for my weekend warriors, make sure this weekend you don't blow yourself off. that you prove to yourself that you can do this, because I want to see your results. I'm going to post now that I'll probably do another live over the weekend and on Monday, because the cart is going to be closing. I am taking 3 new Envision clients into my Envision program. So what Envision is, it is a 6-month to a year program. Some people do longer, but a minimum of 6-month commitment. And we do weekly accountability check-ins, progress pictures, Zoom calls. You have access to working with me through just how Debbie did. We do program reviews. I do everything that I can to say, hey, you hired me to transform you, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that that happens. So if you're looking to experience what it's like to be the fit girl, to be the 2.0 version of you, you want to book a call with me. You got an email today. You can respond to the email. You can look on my calendar link. Schedule that call. It would be maybe 15 minutes, 30 minutes at max to see if we are a good fit. And to remember the price. It'll cost you about $100 a week to work with me, and you can pay month to month, or I do offer discounts for those who pay in the 6-month increments. Okay. The next thing that you get is, or that I need to tell you, oh yes, for your perfect 10 results. I do want you to post those in the group. If you post them in the group and you don't want your face shown, then make sure you crop that out. If you don't mind that, then I'm thinking it's fair game that I can also share that in my stories and in future perfect 10 advertising. So if you are still wanting to share your results, but you're feeling a certain way about it, you can also DM them to me. I would love to see that. If you have no freaking interest in signing up for Envision ever, my tip jar is for you to finish Perfect 10, to refer someone to Perfect 10 or to refer them to my program, and to share your results. This helps me keep it on, to do what I do best to right now in this stage of my life to fulfill my purpose. So I really sincerely hope that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. I hope that you feel my energy, my belief in you and what I do, my gratitude in all of you gals who have been here showing up to play full out. It means the world to me. It truly does. And keep asking your questions. Stay accountable in this group. I will post with this time post. Let's see, your U-work assignment for today is to post over the weekend how you faced your biggest challenge. Okay, so we're going to say post your biggest challenge would be like maybe go but like not going to Chick-fil-A, not drinking the alcohol this weekend. Okay, the weekends are typically the toughest, but know that you got a group of gals that are going through the same thing. Dan, have I forgotten anything? No, you sure? All right, so we talked about what to stop, book a call, your U-work. I'll be doing another bonus day. I'm not sure, maybe Sunday, definitely Monday, to check in with you guys, because let's see, you guys will be finishing your 10-day results later on next week, and I want to see them. All right, gang, thank you so much. I hope to hear from some of you soon. Happy Friday.